Today's story about how a cruel woman exploit her family members for monetary gain through the means of physical and mental abuse. Patria throws a celebration party for her daughter Cameron but becomes upset when her estranged sister, Mia, was invited. They had a complicated past when Mia's supposed to be Patricia caretaker, but she abused her position and brings harm to the family. Cameron are unhappy that she couldn't receive the gift from Auntie Mia, that Patricia explains to her that those money likely comes from illegal activities and warns Cameron to stay away from her. Patricia, who recently accepted Christ, prays together with her before bed and tells her that whenever she sees a tree, God is with her and she is never alone. One day, Patricia suffers from severe migraine and collapses the next day from brain aneurysm. With no one taking care of Cameron, Mia offers to take the child while Patricia recovers in the hospital. Mia has another foster daughter that is forced to do all the house chores and are constantly abused when did something wrong. Not knowing of this, Patricia agrees to let Mia temporarily take care of Cameron. Mia brings Cameron home and introduces her to her uncle Chris, daughter Angela, and the maid Nancy. Cameron is scared when they told her that she will be staying at her room in the basement. Reluctantly, they drag her down and lock her in. Nancy then explains to her that this is her new home and introduces another two, Joanne and Harland, which are staying together. There's a curtain area where Nancy tells Cameron not to go beyond it, as well there is a pot for them to piss in, and the thin mattress for them to sleep. Chris comes down with the Kool-Aid, which is drugged to calm them down. Their modus operandi are selling older captives through sex work and collecting disability check for each captive from the social welfare. Josh Goodman and Gail are the social worker that's in charge of handling children. Mia are overworked and constantly being negligent in their duty. Patricia comes to the welfare center in hopes of getting back her daughter. Josh then reviews back the files for Mia only to find out that she has a criminal record for hitting a man and locking him to death in a closet. Figuring something amiss, Josh went to her house only for Mia telling him to come back the next day. The following day when Josh came back, he is shocked when he learned that they already have moved out of the house. Josh and Gail then broke this news to Patricia, leaving her emotionally breakdown. Mia and her captives have moved to Nashville in order to escape being tracked, where Cameron now is a teenager. Nancy and Joanne are still producing babies for Mia to sell on the black market, since Mia are not receiving any more government checks from the welfare department. Using online dating platform, Mia meets a woman with nursing experience and seduces the woman home. When Diane goes into the basement, Mia locks her in. Nancy introduces her to everyone, while Joanne is 8 months pregnant, where Diane is held till Joanne goes into labor. Diane helps with the delivery of the baby. Unfortunately, the baby is dead on arrival. Mia insults Joanne a failure and buries the baby in the backyard. Not willing to withstand anymore, Diane tries to escape but hits her head on the staircase, where she succumbed to her death from the injury. Mia put the blames on Cameron and says the police will take her away, so that Mia offers to cover up the murder in order to make Cameron feel indebted to her. While preparing meal in the kitchen, Cameron found the sedative that Chris used to give them. She steals it and takes out the trash. Remembering what her mother told her, she held on to the trees outside her house and prays to God to seek help. One day, Mia stumbles upon a homeless man and offers him a job as long as he follows her order tightly. He serves as a pimp and delivers the girl to meet men. One of Nancy's customer, John, is a cop who pays for underage girl for sexual work without any remorse. Joanne delivers a baby in the basement, the first from her that actually survives, where Mia takes her away from her before she can even hold her. Angela voice out to her mother, and she went back to Atlanta with 2 of Joanne's baby. During the sexual work, Nancy told the cops everything, expecting that cops will help her, only to her disappointment that the cop brings Nancy home and tells Mia that she is trying to escape. They beat her up and locks her alone in the room. While Cameron are doing cleaning at the kitchen, she drugs the homeless man and rushes up to take care of Nancy by providing food and water. After a few days, Mia asks Cameron to clean Nancy up so she can back to work, only to find out that she already dead. Leaving them no choice, they pack up and move back to Atlanta to avoid their operation being exposed. Upon arriving at Atlanta, Angela's current house, Cameron is locked in the closet with no food and water for 3 days. Angela wants Mia to move out as soon as the landlord of the house is very strict. One day when the landlord comes to check his property, he feels something amiss from the basement and unlocks through force only to shockingly find captive children in dire state. He swiftly lodges a report and police storm the property and save Cameron, who is still locked in the closet. Mia and her gang all are arrested, and by God's grace Cameron survives, where her mother Patricia gives her a hug at the scene. At the final scene, after 5 years of jail, Mia applies for an early parole. Cameron speaks at the hearing and calls Mia cruel and a human with devil's heart, and the judge rejected Mia's early parole. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for next story.